Hey, welcome to TOX TONICS, straight talk with Jason, just a modern guy, navigating life, health, and business in Canada. Today is episode number 3. Wow, this is exciting. Episode number 3. And I've got one of my buddies that I've met, a while back. He's a local comedian and also a producer of a local show here in town in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. This is Ryan Butterfield.
Jason, great to be here. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Welcome, Ryan. So, you know what? This is my 3rd podcast, right? And we were just talking earlier that you have on your profile that you're a podcaster,
right,
and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me this. I'm just trying to get my experience and my feet wet in podcasting,
right?
And I love chatting with people. And just to give people some context. Ryan and I used to work at the door at a local establishment here in Calgary. And how do we pass time? We told each other jokes back and forth, and I just loved what he was saying.
Yeah, and we both do not work there anymore.
No, we both.
Well, one of us was let go for other reasons, and
the other one was let go for other reasons.
Yeah, for other reasons, perfectly legitimate reasons.
Absolutely, absolutely. All good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, my buddy here at CAC's Bar and Podcast. I keep mixing it up. Podcast and bar.
Podcast and bar. Yeah.
Bar here. Sean, he did my first episode with me, and it was just went through the podcasting thing, and so that was podcasting 101. And I was like, as I bring guests on here, and just I'm just learning a lot about what people do.
Right.
So
yeah.
You're a comedian, stand-up comic. How long have you been a stand-up comic, man?
I've been doing it for, I think, 6+ years now.
Okay.
COVID years are a little...
We don't count the COVID years.
Don't count the COVID years, really. There was a lot of perfectly legal shows I was doing during that time. A lot of shows.
Were you laughing by yourself?
Yeah. No, I did the Zoom show.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'll never do that again. And then... there were some shows that may not have been in somebody's apartment, and we may or may not have been social distancing during that time. But
you did have masks on.
Yeah, no, obviously.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
I don't know if we have video for this, but I'm totally totally being sincere. Definitely had masks in that apartment. Well, totally didn't affect a small portion of the Calgary comedy scene.
No, I hear you. No, I'm a nurse, and I'm in the healthcare industry, right? First and foremost, and I found some of the rules to be very restrictive on a lot of people that were running businesses.
Yes, businesses. Yes, just a bunch of open micers.
Yes.
I don't think the world would have minded if we didn't have to do that.
Yeah, definitely. So you and you also host the show, like you started hosting or produced a show.
Yeah, Reckless Comedy in Inglewood.
In Inglewood, right? And that's at what location?
It's at the Dirty Duck Pub.
Okay.
Right on 9th Ave there. And we're every Thursday, and we've had a lot of fun, and we've been doing it. I think we started like a year or two before COVID.
Okay.
So it's been going on for a while now. Yeah.
All right. Nice. And are you finding the crowds getting better as time goes on, or?
The great thing about comedy is there's a lot of ups and downs. So, some nights it's amazing. We got like so many people there, and the other nights it's just like, I don't know what happened. It's just like, there's like a famine or something going on. So, just kind of depends. It's an open mic.
Yeah.
But we always get like a couple of guys that know what they're doing dropping in, and then we always got new guys coming in, and it's a lot of fun. The important thing is to have fun.
Absolutely.
Doing all this.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And I've been to a few of them, right? And, I love comedy. I love stand-up comedy, and for me, it's my mental health. If I get to laugh, right, it releases a lot of those good endorphins.
Yeah, you're being entertained by a lot of people with mental health issues, just so you know.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? It's therapy, and I think I've talked about it a few times in my podcast and the podcast that I've participated in.
Anybody out there, get real therapy. Don't rely on comics.
Don't rely on comedy.
Don't rely on comics to heal you because they will disappoint. But yeah, everybody says
because they're not professional therapists.
No, we're not professional therapists. Some of us are in therapy, not me, because you know, I'm strong or whatever. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
but you know, like the whole health side of it, endorphins,
right?
Like in healthcare, you know, as a nurse, we use comedy a lot, right?
Nurses have some of the darkest humor I've ever.
100%.
Yeah, ambulance. Who's the ambulance guys?
One of your guests, I think, at one of the shows that I attended. He's ambulance or he's a porter.
I don't know what either.
Oh gosh,
what's a porter? Is that the
guy that rolls around people in the hospitals, like from bed to bed, or
the dead guys, or just whoever?
Well, sometimes they're dead guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those guys. Oh man, they have some of the darkest humor I've ever seen. It's right up there with oil rig workers.
True.
Yeah.
True. Well, you know, oil rig workers. Like, what? Have you ever worked with oil rigs?
I'm trying to make my way out there right now. Yeah,
Back up north?
Back
up north?
It will be my first time up north.
Yeah.
That's how great Canadian comedy is. You gotta find your way. You gotta make some money.
Absolutely.
Find wherever you can to make some money.
Yeah. But what were you doing before? You were a teacher or something like that, right?
I was trying to get my teaching. I was going to say license, but my teaching diploma.
Okay.
And then I had a football scholarship, and I was down in North Dakota.
Okay.
And then I would have had to stay an extra couple of years there to get the teacher license. So I settled for a history degree.
Okay.
Big mistake. Don't ever do that. And then, and then now I transitioned into comedy. So
well, history, comedy. You know some facts, and you can embellish on some facts, right? Like where do you get your inspiration for your pieces?
I do know facts, but it wasn't worth $30,000 though. But
U.S.
U.S. dollars, so it was more. Where do I get my inspiration from? Was that the question? I don't know. It's just kind of like just life, I guess, in general. Just stuff that my parents say, stuff that I've heard, my own like weird thoughts as I'm walking my dog or just hanging out somewhere, and then I just pen to paper, paper to stage, and just see if it sticks.
And I consider you a very funny guy, and
Thank you.
N equals 2 because even Sean here, one of our sponsors, he considers you a very funny guy too.
Yeah.
Right. And he's, I've seen your act a few times, and I think he's seen your act a couple of times. Like at the end of the day, what do you think is, makes you, a comic that relates with the crowd, or just, people want to see more of?
I don't know. I think I try to like do like, I'm not, there's nothing wrong with shock and awe type of guys.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just not my thing. So I try to do like stuff that's like clever or something like just like, it's a very cliche answer, but like just stuff like, it's like, oh yeah, I get, that's an interesting take on it or whatever.
So, and are you like, every time I attend one of your shows, I learn a little bit more about you.
Right.
So you come from a religious family.
Yes.
Right. And you not target, sorry, but
target.
you make light of religion, right? Or your upbringing.
Right. Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about that.
Just, family. My dad and my mom, very devout Christians. And then, I've kind of just poked fun of it at it. It's not malicious or anything like that. I think that's, in my opinion, it's a little hacky to just kind of be like, these idiots. And I'm just like, they majority of the world is that. So you can be like that, but they won. But, it's just kind of just like, tongue in cheek type stuff. And then just like, it's stuff where I'm just like, it's always funny. Like I used to tell a joke about like, I punched my brother in church one time, and then, and he was just annoying me. And then he just like, if you don't stop annoying me, I'm going to punch you. And then like, and she's like, yeah, go for it. So I did.
Yeah.
And then just as I was doing it, like the pastor just turned the corner and saw me do it.
Oh, shit.
So it's kind of like, it's stuff like that. You know what I mean?
All right. So what was the, as a Christian, did you have to go to confession afterwards? Or
No. We
No?
don't do any of that.
No penance?
No, it's a good old fashioned Protestants. No, Catholicism. I did go to a French Catholic school.
Yeah.
For a while.
Okay.
And then my parents, we during that time we're going to a Pentecostal church, which is like the exact opposite of a Catholic church. But I remember one time, like Catholics like to do the sign of the cross or
Absolutely,
whatever.
yep.
And then like I was doing that in a Pentecostal church.
Okay.
And then my parents were just looking at me and just like, we got to take him out of this school.
So yeah, and now that I am older,
right,
and experience life in different ways now,
right,
yeah, you know what, you're born into a specific religion,
right.
I was raised Catholic,
mm-hmm.
Baptized Catholic, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And when it comes to religion, right now I found Jesus again, right, over the last couple of years.
Oh, nice.
With life.
There you go.
And you know what? It's a community that I feel comfortable with because I grew up. I went to St. Mary's here in Calgary.
Right.
And I went back to there, and I'm finding now, as I grow up, my parents said, go to church. I was like, I'm not going to church. Why do I got to go to church?
Right.
I can pray anywhere.
Right.
But I get messages from each time I go to mass, right? So
right.
the message comes clear for everybody specifically, right? And I'm not saying that anybody's religion is better than another,
mm-hmm.
right? However, I get a lot of guidance from my church these days.
Right.
In your experience, how's religion kind of have you Christian, you went to a school, Pentecostal Catholic school.
Yeah.
Like where are you at now?
Oh,
where are you comfortable making fun of? I'm comfortable making fun of the Catholics.
I don't know. I think what's interesting about comedy is like you can't usually have anything. You can't take, at least in my opinion, you shouldn't take anything too seriously.
100%.
And then with faith, I guess it's just like it's probably one of the most serious things in your life. You know what I mean? So it does kind of like it's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's that word? Paradox or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I still believe, and I still kind of have my ideas and my convictions, but it's also like if I'm doing stuff like this,
mm-hmm.
it's just like, all right, like you kind of you still take it seriously, but you also kind of like, all right, there's like leeway. And I know that's not a popular thing to say with people that are like very with faith, but it's just like, all right, well, it's just kind of my philosophy on it. Like, there's a little bit of like give and take.
Absolutely.
In a sense.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were going to get this deep. I thought we were just going to make like fart jokes and stuff like that. But,
well, fart jokes is, about 50 minutes out. 15 minutes out.
Yeah.
I did talk to people about, the one of the things that I posted to tell people that I was going to be talking with you this evening
mm-hmm.
was your conspiracy theories.
Right.
Right. That was the Health Canada guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So I
posted that early on when I was just like, okay, we'll just post anything.
Yeah.
So like, I haven't done that joke in a while, and it never really worked the way I wanted it to. So thank you for putting that on.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I find, well, we all know in healthcare now, people that are involved in fitness and that the eight pieces of bread and 6 cups of milk a day don't work for everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
And that was like a real. I think I was exaggerating, but that's like not far off.
It's not far off.
What it was. It was like you had to, like, I remember like the food pyramid, like the base was like all grains or whatever. Like you had to eat like an insane amount of grains, and then like dairy, and then like fruits, vegetables, and then meat. And then I forget what it was at the top exactly, but like it was just like now you look at that and just like, man, that's like an insane like.
Oh, it was absolutely.
Well, then I think it. I don't have any. I don't have a computer to back this up, but I'm pretty sure like the dairy lobby wrote the majority of that. Like I in America, and like a lot of the companies that were like big into like sugar companies, like Nestle and all that, those guys, like they were big into their. They wrote the food pyramid, like all their guys, and then I'm pretty sure the dairy lobby in Canada was a big part of the food pyramid here. I don't know if any of this
Canada's
is true. I'm just spewing this out into the internet, so you know.
You know what? Well, you know,
somebody out there,
I'm searching right now.
Fact check me for sure.
I'm on the government of Canada, Canada's food guide.
Yeah.
Right now we.
I think they changed it now. I think it's like now it's way more accurate. But
but you know, I can say this much: Canada's food guide when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Right.
It was horrendous.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Right. And you know they tried to combine it with who are our fitness people too, Joe and I don't know whatever they were.
Are you talking about?
Yeah, Joanne McLeod and something.
Are you talking about the body break people?
The body break people, exactly. Right? So here's your Health Canada food
body
guide.
break.
Then get your fitness here, blah blah. And what do we have 10, 15 years later, 20 years later? Kids, you know, believing that and parents believing that. We have a whole bunch of diabetics in the world right now.
It's true. I've never not seen a body break commercial with not eating Cheetos.
Right.
Because like they were always all on like Saturday morning cartoons,
yes,
like, on the on the commercials or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they're always timed with the Saturday, like Monday morning commercials.
Yeah.
Right. And Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Canada food. You know,
just like body break. It was a good jingle.
It was.
What happened to? Did those guys like? Are they still around or?
You know what? I was on. Let's see. I was on the Calgary Marathon Committee. And at one point, we were going to get them guests or hosts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, at one point.
How the mighty have fallen doing commercials. Probably now you have to do the Calgary Marathon.
The Calgary Marathon. You know, so
but don't even get a good one like in Toronto.
You got to find your gigs everywhere, right?
So, that's pretty hilarious.
They're still healthy and they're still, you know, still.
I would hope so. Yeah, that's good.
But you know, it's you know, that's conspiracies. I go down the conspiracy train all the time. So.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite one these days?
My favorite one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little. I still like the JFK stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, you're going back in time.
Yeah, I not new modern conspiracies, like, you know. Yeah.
The JFK one. Did you ever go to
Respect
Dallas?
your elders, kids. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Coming from the history teacher.
Yeah, exactly. I was on a layover in Dallas one time, and then we went there. Me and my dad. We went to the JFK spot.
Yes.
I don't know what you call it. The assassination.
The assassination.
The assassination route.
There is actually an X.
The route where the CIA killed him.
Yes.
But yeah, I remember like we were like everybody. It's kind of hilarious because like everybody there is like got their own theory.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I saw like two conspiracy guys like arguing about who had the more accurate like pictures of like what's his name, of the guy that killed him.
What's his name? What's his name, Sean, again?
They're just like one guy was getting into it
Harvey Oswald
with the other guy, just like, that one's fake, mine's the real one, this is the real picture.
And there's one of those street vendors that were on the street there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was awesome. And then I'm just
like a CD from one of those guys.
Yeah. No, this guy was selling like printouts of like Lee Harvey Oswald, like carrying like the rifle and like the thing, and then like I think another guy had the same one or something like that, but like he was accusing that guy. He's like, that one's the fake one, this one's the real one, or something like that. It was always funny. It's just like, that's how you know, like you know, I don't know if anything will ever change, because like at the end of the day, it's still about making money.
Absolutely. It always comes down to the coin.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you the CD and I'll give you the facts.
Right.
Give me $20 first. Right. So
that's hilarious that people are still trying to hawk CDs when you have Spotify. You just put it on Spotify.
Yeah, but I was one of those guys that bought one of those CDs, and I had to find a CD player.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
go back into my junk drawer like to find a CD player. Right?
I saw like an old stereo system at the Goodwill recently.
There you go.
Yeah, and I was just like, man, this is like in good shape. So this means you bought this recently and never used it.
Well, yeah, I'm actually looking for a good 8-track player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you found anyone?
Huh?
Any good 8-track players?
No.
No?
I don't even know what that is, I don't think.
Holy shit.
Is that the tapes?
Those are the big square cassettes before cassettes.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I think it was the technology after vinyl. Right?
There you go.
So, yeah.
I always forget. How old are you, by the way?
I just aged myself. What's that?
How old are you?
I'm Asian, so I am 35.
Yes, I know you are aged great. Yes,
I age gracefully.
Yeah.
No, I'm 48.
48?
Yeah, 48.
Okay, yeah. So it's a little, that's a little bit your technology because I still.
Yeah, that was the tech that my dad had played for us. Yeah.
Because we had a cassette in like our crappy like 90s car, but
okay.
But
no, we actually had to get an adapter for my parents' 90s cassette car,
right,
to play 8 tracks back in the day, right? Because my dad's collection was all on 8 track,
right.
So we got the Sesame Street, the Star Wars stuff, all on 8 track. Because you couldn't carry around vinyl like your 45-inch or even with it onto in your cars.
My mom, she burned back when burning CDs were like a big thing.
Okay.
She her favorite, she burned a CD and it was all country music and all gospel, and it was like old 90s country, so it's just it was all about how great Texas was and stuff like that.
Yeah. Is that where you grew up then?
No,
where she grew up?
I grew up here.
Okay.
But I went to school down in America because I had a football scholarship, so that's why I have that connection to the States.
Are you dual citizen?
Huh?
Are you a dual citizen?
No, I would never. Maybe that was in a better state. I would have got it to North Dakota. It's not even the best Dakota. There's no. So South Dakota has the statue, the statue of the founding fathers or whatever, into the mountain.
The mountain, Mount Rushmore. Yes.
North Dakota, that's just a straight line to Canada.
Casinos, all casinos.
Is that what it is?
That's yeah.
It's casinos and oil rig guys.
Yeah. A lot of guys. Because I was born in Manitoba. That's vacation spot. With me and my parents. It was North Dakota.
Oh,
cross the border. You're in North Dakota at a casino.
Were you doing a lot of camp? Oh, casino.
Well, my parents would drive across the border, and we'd be stuck in a motel, and they go to the. Well, maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but you know what? That was my education. We'd practice blackjack 21.
So what would happen? You would do they would leave you at the motel and then they would go gamble?
Yeah, with my older aunt, definitely. I don't think there's a statute of limitations of leaving your kids under 12 while they go play in casino.
That is so. I remember somebody an older person told me a story one time. Their dad went to a casino and they didn't even have a motel. They just left them on the curb. Man, that whole generation was lawless when it came to looking after your kids.
Oh, you know what? There were, you get packed in the station wagon with no seatbelts, no car seats.
Right.
And we kind of roamed around in car seats and with no car seats, and it was the best ride ever.
Right.
Driving back in the back of that station wagon, you slid around. So we went to Expo 86 that way, driving the Trans-Canada Highway in the mountains. And
are you a Gen X or?
I'm a Gen X.
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
So you had classic boomer parents.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. They had zero regard for your safety or your well-being.
And it showed with my kids. They take them, they put them in the car, no car seats, and they took them to Calway Park all the way from their home up by the airport.
Oh wow!
Right? So that was fun times. So
yeah, I had I don't know what my parents are. I think they're Gen X parents, maybe.
Okay.
What's the cutoff for that?
Heck, I don't know.
It's 65 or something like that. 1965 is the last Gen X or.
I don't know. Let's see. Gen X is children of the 1970s and 1980s. So that was me.
Right.
And you're Gen Z, right?
I think millennial. I think I'm I'm like an elder millennial or something.
Older.
95.
Not 81 to 96. Oh, you're the late part of it.
Yeah,
You're a
95.
millennial. So parents of millennials are.
They're either boomers or Gen X's. I can't remember.
Look at this.
Do you find the stereotypes around those true?
100%.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And you know, in parenting,
Right.
in relationships, in in the people that are brought up that way and dating a certain way. Right. So yes, the stereotypes are pretty fitting.
Yeah.
Pretty fitting. Right. So yeah.
Yeah.
Like you guys were protected as you guys were growing up. You had to have helmets and all this fun stuff.
Yes, but we
never ever got hurt.
No, but we were also like, I can't remember how to describe it. It was like they were like very attentive, but like they were also kind of like, yeah, go for it a little bit.
Yes.
I don't know what that is. It's like a boomer mixed with a Gen X maybe, because like I feel like Gen X parents just kind of let their kids do anything, and boomer parents were just also kind of were like they let them do anything, but they also like didn't care that much.
Oh, that was the latch, like that was the age of the latchkey parents.
Right.
Yeah. Like your boomer parents that were parents of Gen Xers.
Right.
They did whatever. Like you guys go play, and when the lampposts come on, then you're coming home.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Parents of millennials, it's it's like, okay, you guys got to go home, blah blah blah, do your stuff, blah blah blah, and you can play outside for about an hour. You still got to play outside at least, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So nowadays it's me as a parent of, I don't know what's the generation, they're teens now, but we all struggle to get our kids out of gaming and out of that little computer room. Yeah. So
do they still play outside though? Right?
Hell no, it's such a thing. No, I had a basketball court, a basketball net, icing, and the only time that they'd actually play is like if it was hockey practice or
right.
Their friends came around once in a while and thing, but get them out for about 30 minutes and then they're back in playing games.
So I think that's like a part of that. It was like like our parents like didn't grow up with the internet.
Yeah.
So like when the internet came about, like I remember just like it was just filled with pedophiles. Like that's what you know what I mean? Like they were just like, the internet is just pedophiles. Like I remember I still remember like there was a time when everything was like social media and all that was happening, but it was still relatively new to the point where like I still remember taking like internet safety classes and stuff like that, and it was just like, yeah, everybody's a pedophile. It wasn't great. Like it's just like these like never give your like information out or anything. So, and then Apple Pay comes along and you put all your information on Apple Pay, and it turns out giving all your information online is really like it saves a lot of time. It's actually very helpful.
Yes, it does. You just press a button.
You just press a button and
for
go.
Stuff, right?
And I'm just like, yeah.
Well, I think and there wasn't. Well, in your generation, there wasn't TikTok.
Well, yeah, but there was like Vine, kind of. I was never really into Vine, but there was Vine around, which is basically just TikTok.
But nowadays, all the kids are learning through TikTok. My kids are learning through TikTok.
Really?
Right? And we all, how do you monetize TikTok?
I don't think you can in Canada.
You absolutely can.
You can?
Absolutely, yeah. Well,
I don't think
you use TikToks.
Yeah, you use the TikToks, and then I don't think.
And then
TikTok,
if you're over 18, you sign up for an OnlyFans account, and all the fun stuff happens.
That's sad.
It is.
At 18, like you didn't even try to have like a normal life.
Exactly. Right? Like this is where you get in all the it just came back to COVID. Like at the end of the day, everybody was trying to figure out how to make money online.
Right. Yeah.
And you find this big boom of people trying to get, make money online. So, what sells online?
True, but it's
going
also
back to pedophiles, So,
right. Yeah,
but sex sells, right? And
but it's like it's just where we at is like the fact that people feel like that's a real option just shows you how just completely obliterated like the regular like just working standards are right now. You know what I mean? Like just
100%.
like
Yeah.
how low wages are, how crappy work culture is. It's just like
Nobody wants to work anymore.
well, why would you?
Exactly.
Why would you
Yeah.
if it's just like you don't get paid that well? Everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
And in a little bit like during the pandemic, if your job is not
Essential.
why
Yeah.
would you go back to it? Because then you're screwed if it ever happens again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's
and it sucks because it's just like if people, I don't know if it's greed or just bad, like it's not evolving with the times or something like that, but it's just that people figured that out, and then I think we just have a stronger workforce now. But, now it just seems so obliterated.
well, my opinion is during COVID, if you were 15 and up, never had a job before, you can claim $15 an hour here in Alberta,
Right.
And get paid. So, for any of those people that had grown up through that, it proved that, you know what, you can make money not doing anything. So, and it just, I think it just created this workforce of people that, know that you don't put hard work in, you might still be able to make it. So I know this as a former, I employed people, and we were changing over staff often.
Right.
Because, like people were, if they weren't happy with their job, because you actually asked them to do their job, then they'd leave.
Right. But it was that, if you take an honest look at it, is that really what it was? Or is just like, was the turnover just because it was a crappy, work culture or something like that?
We were setting ourselves up for, even before COVID, we were setting ourselves up for a generation of workers that got out of university or got out of a degree and program and saying, hey, you know what? I am worth $120,000 right out of school. Like I saw those conversations in 2015.
Yeah.
Right. Like I was like, doing my work online or, at a coffee shop and such. And, one of these guys, can tell us, having conversations with his friends, like, yeah, I just graduated business school, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I had a couple of offers for a job, and he was, maybe he was showing off or just, elaborating on what he was earning. He goes, yeah, I think I'm worth more than $120,000 a year. Fresh from business school, fresh from university. So that was in 2015.
Yeah, but it's also like that guy's saddled with generational debt.
Yes.
Saddled with generational debt. It's he's got all that career, and then he's got that. Rent is expensive, groceries expensive, and if you're working in business, chances are you're going to have to work near the downtown core a lot of times.
Yep.
So like it's even more expensive there. So I don't blame that guy for thinking he's worth that much, because that's probably what he needs to kind of get things going. You know what I mean?
He does, but a brand new student versus someone that has experience in business.
True, but
I'd much rather pay that person $60 an hour versus $120,000 if you actually calculate it. Like that's $60 an hour.
Right.
Minimum wage at that time, let's say it was 10, right? $10 an hour.
Wait, you were going to pay that guy was going to get paid $10 minimum?
No,
wage?
he shouldn't get paid $60 an hour.
Right.
But like opening salary should have been like $60,000-$70,000.
Yeah. So, well, but it just, I don't know.
And just generation after generation of people just expecting too much from employers.
Yeah, that is true. But I also think like maybe I'm biased because I see such an uptick in just like how expensive everything is. So I'm just
I am not
just like, gouge them for everything you can.
I'm not complaining. No, I'm not disagreeing with you there. But now we have all these extra taxes that we have to pay.
Yeah.
Right? So so the cost of goods have gone up.
Yeah.
Cost of labor has gone up, and therefore we have to pay accordingly. But it has to be. When does it end? As a business owner, when does it end? Where can you tax us and us invest in, people and working, and then have them enough to live above the poverty line.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
tough because
it's a tough formula.
Yeah, because I feel like there's so many just everybody is trying to make a dime.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to make a buck, and then everybody is like, if everybody's trying to make money, like you don't really you're trying to squeeze as much as you can out of it.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to ask people to sacrifice because they're just like, because they look around and they're just like, well, he's not sacrificing, so why should I?
Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
True.
Because it's just like, if they're not gonna tighten their belts, then why should I? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of a I don't know, call me the old man now in this conversation, right?
Right.
So, but in any case, like, how old are you?
I am 28.
28. Okay. So, a comic that's making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Mr. Matt Rife.
Sure.
Right.
Yes.
He's been at the game, he says, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What's your is Matt Rife one of your inspirations? Or
I liked him when he was on Wild and Out.
Okay.
Which is really good.
Yeah. And then
really
you don't
great.
like him now?
It's all right. I don't know. I think he made a transition with his career.
Yeah.
Which I don't fault him for, but like just some of the stuff. I tried to watch the special and then, nothing. I just wasn't super into it, but people like him. I think he's talented. He's doing what he's got to do.
Okay. Where's the talent? Because people say he's talented with the crowd work.
Yeah.
Or is it the comedy? Or is it just because the guy's fucking good looking and then all the girls that
it's all three, Jason. You need all three to be a star. It's all three.
All three?
It's all three. If you I like I used to watch the Wild and Out clips, which was like it was like an improv show. Okay. It was like Whose Line is it anyway, but more hip hop.
Okay.
So, but he was great on that.
Nice.
There was a lot of great talent on that.
Yeah. So 28. Oh gosh. What comedians inspire you?
Like locally or just like
big names or locally or
I mean Bill Burr was a huge inspiration, obviously.
Yeah.
I remember there was always like kind of like that weird internet kid, you know what I mean? Like that just spent his time all online and he always knew about stuff before everybody else did.
Okay.
Maybe this is more of a generational thing.
Probably. Yeah.
But there was always like a weird kid that like knew something about like the new thing and that was only on the internet. And then he told me about Bill Burr.
Okay.
This was like when Bill Burr's Netflix special was like bootlegged on YouTube. And then I watched it and then I was just like, he was like one of the first guys wherever I saw talk about something, I was just like, I felt that. Like I've had that feeling before. And then who else?
Any other ones?
Tough Crowd, like the clips on Tough Crowd.
Okay, yeah.
Like that was really cool to me. Like just it's basically podcasting now, but back then it was just like guys from like the Comedy Cellar in New York, and like they would just go on and like they would just make sketches and like talk about stuff. And what was hilarious is like it was like a live TV show, but they left in like whenever you bombed, they would leave it in. So like there would just be episodes where like there was just a ton of awkward silence.
All the bloopers or
what?
It's almost like similar.
It was almost like leaving in the bloopers.
Yes,
yeah. Like it wasn't polished or anything like that. It was like really raw, and which meant like nobody liked it at the time. But like, but nowadays like that's basically any podcast. But
well, there's even I'm Filipino, so one of the comics that that I've loved is Joe Coy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and and Joe Coy actually, as a Filipino guy, he's actually brought the Filipino culture into like to make fun of Filipino culture.
Yes.
Right. So that's he found his little niche there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then him being able to date, what's her name? Chelsea Handler, was it?
Oh, did he date her?
Yeah.
Oh.
They were touring. They even came to Canada during COVID or whatever. Snowboard naked or half naked anyway. So
okay.
Yeah. No, they were. Was it Chelsea Handler? It was Chelsea Handler. Joe Coy. Yeah, but
I know he was on like her show back in the day, but I
don't think they're dating anymore. But when it was, he came out with Easter Sunday and the Netflix special.
Yeah. I didn't watch Easter Sunday, but I heard about it. Yeah.
Nice.
Did you watch it? How was it?
it was pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. Filipino parents, you know, and and his story actually is like, he in Easter Sunday, he basically his he got divorced from his wife, and his wife started dating an ex NHLer or something like that, and so he was still trying to make it in comedy.
Right.
And then he made it as a big comic when he got the Netflix special.
Right.
And that's when that's when he boomed. But he's been in the comedy circuit for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then who's the other guy? He's from out of Toronto, the Canadian guy, the Indian guy.
Russell Peters.
Russell Peters. Yeah. That was my generation of comic. It's.
I remember watching like that CBC special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw him, and what is it now in Calgary? It used to be called the Marlboro Inn, like all the way, and he invited, it was, I think tickets were like $20.
Oh, wow.
Right. And it was a room filled with people that live from Northeast Calgary, the colored people, right? So there's Indians.
He said
Chinese,
it, not me.
What's that?
I'm putting. Jason said it, not me. I just want to point that out.
I'm a colored person, I can refer to people as white people too, right? So
yeah, there you go.
I don't think there's any wrong with you calling people colored people.
Yeah, I know a trap when I see it. Okay, but no, sorry to interrupt your story. Yeah, but that's really cool. $20 a ticket.
$20,
and that's pretty cool.
And now I talked to some people from Toronto. Some of the Indian guys are like, I hate him. Well, why do you hate him? Well, he's such he's a rude guy. I'm like, well, you know what? That comes a little bit with his celebrity status, but at the end of the day, you know what? I've run into him at Toronto clubs and Toronto bars,
right?
And guy seems okay, right?
Yeah.
So that that ages me, but Russell Peters actually brought to the forefront the colored jokes that made it funny, because he made fun of Asians, he made fun of Indians,
he did do a lot of and you know what was great about it? Like he did like really specific stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like stuff like, oh, you had to like really know somebody to know that show, know that about us, which I think that's really cool when somebody able to do that.
Yeah. But I think, I nowadays it's, the fear of being canceled, right? I think is,
yeah.
I sense that with you too. Like, we have to tread a little bit carefully on some topics.
Sure, but I think, but I'm not denying that it's a real thing.
Yeah,
but it's also like, I feel like if you're honest about what you're doing, and like you put out a good product, like people will walk the walk with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying like cancel culture doesn't exist, but it also is just like some of it is like just like, all right, if you do say what you're saying with like conviction, and you're not trying to be like, oh, like, look at me, I'm saying the crazy stuff, and I'm just like, because like I'm not saying like that type of comedy shouldn't exist. Sometimes like that's really funny.
Yeah.
But it's just like if you're just doing shock and awe stuff, like it just like it kills the momentum.
Absolutely. Yes.
And it's like, and like it's more like, I think it's more like it's your reputation gets kind of wrecked sometimes now.
I see.
A little more.
Yeah.
It's not so much like you can't do stuff as much. It's just like people think you're the worst moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you mess up, you say something like crazy or like really, really insensitive, and then people just think you're just that guy. But you messed up a joke, or like, you just had a bad night, but everybody's just like, you're the worst moment. And it's just like, well, unless you're Hitler. Hitler, his worst moment was, he's the bad guy. But like for regular people, like you aren't your worst moments.
Well, the cancel culture does exist, but I still think that comedy is an art form that allows you to express, your thoughts on what's happening in the world, right? Sure. The more genuine you are, in sharing it,
and I think people pick up on that usually.
Yeah.
It's probably different in other places, but Calgary usually is kind of like, they get what we're trying to do here.
Are you finding that? Like, let's talk about that here in Calgary.
Yeah.
So, Calgary, they like to call themselves a metropolitan city, but you know what? I think personally we have a few years to catch up with other major centers like Toronto and even Vancouver, because we have.
Do you want to be those places though?
Yeah. No, I don't.
Do you want
I
to be
don't.
that overpriced and that psychotic?
Well, we are overpriced already, and we are, but if we're comparing ourselves to Toronto or Vancouver for prices, we are,
Sure,
we're getting there.
But it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, it's one of those things. It's like most Canadian thing ever. Like everybody has like an F like Toronto story, but then everybody's just like, well, it's better than Toronto, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, we'll pick one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like either be Toronto or be Calgary. Don't try to be Calgary in Toronto or something like that. But it's like,
So you're finding your audience is a little bit more open, accepting here than where you think other audiences won't be?
Well, I'm going based off what I've heard. I haven't done enough stuff outside of Calgary. I did do a bowling alley in Red Deer when that was
Well, Red Deer's halfway between Calgary and Edmonton.
Which is exactly
how'd it go?
What?
How'd
Which
it
is
go?
exactly like Toronto.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I'll say that much. It was like the first. I had no business doing 15 minutes at that time.
Yeah.
And they, for some reason, they gave me 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then when you bomb in a bowling alley, you can hear the pins. Which that's not fun. That's not fun.
But it made you stronger.
Made me stronger. You always got to do crappy stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, we're so 6 years in comedy. You're producing a show.
Yes.
A show. Yeah. Where do you want to see your show like a year from now?
Hopefully still there. I don't know.
What are you finding the challenges then with
I don't know. I don't really look at it as a challenging because it's just I have so much fun doing it.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
I don't know. It's up and down. If we could be more consistent, that would be great.
Yeah,
just consistently people there. But it's just weather happens. Everybody went home for spring break or whatever, or reading week or what it is. So like everybody exited the city the long weekend and. It kind of is what it is. Like
hockey games happen.
Yeah.
Well, we're out of the playoffs. Calgary's out of the playoffs, so don't have to worry about that excuse for another season now.
Freaking losers. They make me so unbelievably frustrated, that team.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's just like they have all the talent in the world usually, but they just can't
get it together.
Can't get it together enough. I mean, when we were working at the place that shall not be named as bouncers.
Yeah.
I don't want to besmirch them. It's actually really good. Whatever. No free plugs. But
exactly.
Yeah. But I remember like a story was told to me, or it wasn't a story, but like this happened. Like some people from the Flames were there.
Yes.
And then they showed me like their card.
Yeah.
So they're just like, can we skip the line or whatever? And then I was just like, oh, okay, I'll go ask my boss.
Oh.
And then he's just like, these missed the playoffs. Tell them to wait. Calgary does not treat its stars like. That's what I like about Calgary a little bit. Like we don't
put them on a pedestal.
We don't. Most of the time, we're not putting people on a pedestal. Just like we'll kick you out.
Hey, it's real life. Calgary's real life.
Yeah. So, you're not better than me.
You didn't make the playoffs. But the Roughnecks made it. Roughnecks made it to playoffs, and they got access.
Yeah.
Lacrosse, which is actually Canada's national sport.
It is,
right? So,
it is the national sport, but don't they make it? How much do they make a year?
Well, all of them have to work
they all work like
three other jobs
to make
it through. But you know what? I think it's those guys play hard, and just like the football guys play hard too.
Yeah,
but they're not making the money that NHL is.
No, they're not.
These guys are entertainers as well, and they should be paid as such.
There was a lacrosse guy that was a comedian.
Was there?
Yeah, really? He was on the show on Reckless one time.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was. I don't want to out him because
So lacrosse did him better. So now he's.
I don't know why. I don't know if I even paid him.
Yeah.
I don't think he had. But no, I did. I think I did pay him. It was like
Yeah.
only $100 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's like. But
Wait a minute, people get paid like during stand-up nights?
Sometimes, I headliners definitely do,
Yeah.
and then I don't make enough money at Reckless to pay the comedians. If I did, I would. But,
Yeah.
It would all be out of pocket, and it just. We're all tough out here, folks. It's all.
You know what? It's it's you eat what you kill.
Yeah. I wish I could pay everyone because a lot of these guys deserve to get paid, but it's just I'm running an open mic and then we don't charge. It's a free open mic, and we hand a bucket around at the end of the night.
True.
Yeah, so
but that's okay. This is one of the things that I have to stress. If you go to an open mic night, especially a free open mic night, right? At the end of the day, when that bucket gets passed, put some dollars in it.
I would appreciate
like that. Would that's just these guys. It takes huge cojones to get up on stage and wait for people to laugh at your jokes.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yes.
And even if they didn't make you laugh, it takes huge cojones to get up on there. Right. So you know what? When that bucket goes around, that should people should be putting dollars in there.
You should, but if it's a tough show, I don't blame you if you don't. But
no, but you know what? This is you are being there to be entertained. Right?
Yes,
and it is an art form. It's entertainment.
I get uncomfortable when people are just like, "You're an artist or a truth teller." I'm just like, "Well, yes, but like, there's people that are that." Yeah. That do comedy. Like, I'm still at the level where I'm just like an entertainer at best. So
no, comedy is an art form.
It is, but I don't want. Yes, it is. I just don't like to take myself too seriously. You know what I mean? That's the only thing.
Well, if you take yourself too seriously, man, you wouldn't be a comic.
Yeah, that's true.
So, or you can make jokes of it, but make sure we laugh.
Yeah, right. Those guys when they just make fun of comedy, and I'm just like, all right, yes, but this is all inside baseball. Like nobody understands what's going on here.
So maybe you just need some people that urge a little bit more in the bucket tip, in the tip bucket.
Sure, so, yeah, but I'm not relying on that. I still got a real job.
Absolutely, no, but that's the thing, right? Like so, we're all at the end of the day, it's it takes public speaking. Is a hard thing to do.
It's weird how it's like some people's like number one fears.
Yes, absolutely.
Which I always like. That's wild to me.
Yeah, but you coached football.
Yeah.
Right, and you dealt with parents, so that's public speaking.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Ignoring them is exactly dealing with them, but. Just like, can you put my son in more? I'm just like, yeah, I don't have control over that. I do, but I just tell him I don't. Your son wasn't that good. I don't know what to tell you. I'll put him in when we're winning. When we're winning by a lot, that's when he plays.
I was a volunteer coach for my kids' hockey teams too, and I was like, that was a crazy thing.
Like hockey.
Yeah. Oh.
Hockey. I do not envy hockey coaches, especially at that level. I'm just like, you got to deal with so many like. Hockey parents are probably some of the worst, like, just like.
I was like, we're all volunteering our time out here. If you're going to yell at the refs and you're going to yell at the coaches,
right?
For your son not having enough time, why aren't you volunteering, putting some time in behind the bench? Right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to play hockey. Well, then shit, sit back down. This is a game. These are kids.
Well, I remember one time. Like we just had like an awful game.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the game we would give like, like stickers or like little like kind of like player of the game stuff. Like this little foam helmet or foam footballs, and like we give them out to kids, and then we just had such a crappy game. Like they were like we just decided not to do it because we don't have everybody sucked today. Yeah. But it's just like, and then somebody was kind of, we weren't like in a screaming match, but it got a little testy because he's just like, well, how come you get it last time? And then how come you didn't do it this time? I'm just like, were you watching the same game? Like there was nothing to celebrate here. Exactly. Oh. And they're just like, well, we because it's like, it's the next level up because like it's like 12 to 13 was what I was coaching, and then the next level up, and then like that's when it starts getting a little bit more competitive.
Yeah.
And like when you're younger, it's just a little bit about like just kind of learning and doing the thing. So I was like, well, back when when we were like 8 to 10, and then we would do it all the time. I'm just like, yeah, well, they're not 8 to 10 anymore. We're trying to win here. This is where we start winning. Just like, if you want to, feel good stuff, yes, be positive, but like you have to also be honest. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like we had a bad game. There was nothing to celebrate. We want to move on from this. Let's just move on.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a fact check question here.
Right.
Do you have a pet?
I do have a pet. Yes.
Yeah. What's your dog's name?
Esteban.
Esteban.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about Esteban.
You basically want me to do my joke.
Yes,
you?
Please. I do.
All right. All right. For you people at home, imagine like there's a giant audience here and everybody's just laughing their ass off. But
I'll put in the
you put in the laugh
the laugh track afterwards. Yeah.
Is there any sitcoms that still have a laugh track?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's Big Bang Theory was like
Did they have a laugh track?
They had a laugh track. That was like the last one I remember having a laugh track.
That 70s show?
They had a laugh track.
They had a laugh track. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, we're coming up with a fart joke here, but I'm trying to set this guy up to tell me about Esteban, right?
Esteban. I have a weird name for my dog, Esteban.
What kind of dog?
It's a German Shepherd.
German Shepherd?
Yeah.
You take him to the dog park?
I do take him to the You see, if you fill in the blanks, it doesn't work.
Okay. All right.
You want to hear that joke? Come to Reckless Comedy YYC, or come to Cax Bar and Podcast. They have a comedy night every Thursday as well.
Or check out what's your Instagram?
Check out Ryan Butterfield Comedy. It says Podcast and Hustler in there. Most of that's not true in the bio, but you want truth in comedy?
Playboy model.
What?
Playboy model? Playgirl model?
No, in the bio.
In the bio. Okay.
Did I say model? My bad. It's really important to know how to talk if you want to do stand up.
All right, tell us a fart joke.
A fart joke?
Yeah. Dad joke, fart joke.
I don't know a fart joke.
Do you know the what's the one? There's one thing that does. I think they're from Australia. They do dad jokes, and the game is they tell each other dad jokes until one starts laughing. And then
yeah.
I don't know. As a dad, I find it funny.
What's your favorite dad joke?
It's my favorite dad joke.
Yeah.
I can't come up with one right now.
You can't come up with one?
No, I'll have to Google one. Oh, speaking of that, so some of the material that I've seen some of the comics do. It's, can you repeat a joke that you liked from somebody else, or do you have to give credit to that when you're a stand-up comic?
Yeah, you shouldn't.
What are the rules?
You shouldn't take somebody else's stuff.
Material, yeah.
Yeah. I think that for those that don't know, the producer's just like, what the hell are you doing?
I don't
know. No, you can't take anybody.
Copyright.
I've mentioned other people's stuff, but I've always tried to give credit, or if it's something that, if I'm building to something else and I'm like, so and so said this, or if I don't know who it was, it's just like, this isn't my joke. Somebody else said it, but I don't remember who.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
There is parallel thinking. Like there's, everybody had a COVID joke for a while.
Yes,
but it's not. If it's verbatim, like you can't do that.
Okay. So it's not like when you're doing music and you do covers.
No, you can't really do a cover of a joke.
I don't know.
No.
All right, sounds good. Well, you know what? Just a few moments left. I wanted to give shout out to Cax Podcasts and Bar, to Sean, who's back there working the tech. I'm doing these podcasts from here Tuesday night. Today's Tuesday night. What do they have? It's trivia night tonight and band night or music night, right? So live performance, music performance at 9 p.m. and trivia starts at 7. So thanks again, Sean and Kaz from Cax Podcast and Bar. And thanks again, Mr. Ryan Butterfield.
Thank you for having me here, Dan. This is really cool. I think this is my second or third podcast. So
there we go. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is my third.
This is your third.
Yeah. So welcome to the third and third.
You feel confident?
I feel confident.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
These chairs just make it so easy.
Yeah, these chairs
are so relaxing.
These chairs are not good. I haven't said anything this whole podcast because I want to respect the institution or whatever. But with these, I do not like these chairs.
You don't like these chairs?
I don't like these chairs. One of it, I'm a big guy. I have a big body, and this just sinks into the ground. So like, I'm sitting on my own stomach basically right now. So I'm not too thrilled about it. But other than that, it's been great.
We'll put that. You should put that in your. If I'm going to be on your podcast, get me on a stool.
On a stool?
Go on a stool. I think you could probably set up stools here. Yeah, exactly.
That chair. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that chair. All these ones are sinking into the ground. These chairs.
They're all like exactly. Startup businesses, man.
Startup. Startup business.
This is a startup business. Yeah. What is it? Look like a casting couch?
That's why. Is that actually why?
No, that was the thought process.
That was the thought process. Casting couch.
Is this still on air? Can we even hear you? Right. You want to hear that joke? Come to Reckless Comedy YYC or come to Cax Bar and Podcast. They have a comedy night every Thursday as well.
Or check out what's your Instagram? Check out
Ryan Butterfield Comedy. There's Podcast and Hustler in there.